Hi guys, I'm Susan, and in this video we're going to be looking at number 4 from test 3 in your red book. So go ahead and pause the video and take a minute to look at that problem. So this is a classic word problem here. This is one of those ACT things where it's not really that hard, but they're making you feel like there's a lot of information you have to keep track of. But because there's not really that much math going on in this problem, I would still say it's probably a first sweep survey question. So let's go ahead and use word problem strategy to work our way through this one. So the first thing we always want to do is read the whole problem and figure out what is this asking us to solve. So in this case, the question we're trying to answer is how many miles did Kaya run? The second step then is to go back through the whole problem and figure out what information we have to work with one sentence at a time. So we know here that on the first day, Kaya ran 1 2/5 miles. And on the second day, she ran 2 1/3 miles. So the first problem we have here is that those fractions have different numbers on the bottom. So we can't just add them together. It's not that simple. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to solve this one, and it's all just about what you're more comfortable with. So either way to do this is completely fine. One way to do this is to change these fractions so that they have the same number on the bottom. That's called the denominator, but I don't like that word, so I'm just going to call it the number on the bottom. So if we want to do that with 1 2/5 and 2 1/3 and get the same number on the bottom, we want to use a number that they can both multiply into. So we're going to choose 15 as the number on the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do with 1 2/5 is turn that into a top-heavy fraction. So 1 is 5/5 plus 2/5. This becomes 7/5 times 3/3 to get a 15 on the bottom becomes 21/15. I got confused by my own math for a second. So we have 1 2/5 taken care of. Now we're going to do 2 1/3 the same way. So 2 is the same as 6/3. So that becomes 7/3 times 5/5 to get 15 on the bottom. And that gives us 35/15. So what that means is on the first day, Kaya ran 21/15 miles, and on the second day, she ran 35/15 miles. So to get the total amount she ran over 2 days, we're going to add those together. So 21 plus 35/15 equals 56/15. And then when you turn this back into a regular number, not a top-heavy fraction, it comes out to 3 11/15. And that is option K. So that's one way to do this. If you're comfortable with converting fractions and don't feel like you're going to make mistakes doing that, that's one way to get there. I'm going to erase this now and show you another way you can do it. Okay, so if you're not that comfortable with all the fraction converting we just did now, the other way you can do this is to use your calculator as your friend. Here it comes. Here we go. Calculator. So 1 2/5 you are going to turn into a decimal just by using your calculator. And so that becomes 1.4. 2 1/3, you're going to do the same thing. 2 1/3 on your calculator, if you turn that into a decimal, it becomes 2.333. Then you can add these together, 1.4 plus 2.333, and that gives you 3.7333. And if you have any kind of fancy calculator at all, like a TI-83, that's when you're going to hit math, frac, and it will turn it back into a fraction for you and tell you that the answer is 3 11/15, which is K. So even if you don't know anything about fractions, you can use your calculator to get to a decimal and then back to the right fraction.